Diddy has been dropped by every brand he's ever partnered with, while the FBI has reportedly seized his private jets and luxury properties. With his income stream cut off, he's now facing a financial freefall. To make matters worse, his legal team has just filed for bail for the 5th time. The question now looms, can Diddy secure release before hitting rock bottom financially? And more importantly, is this the final chapter of his once thriving career?
Now, Diddy's in a tricky situation.
Boy, that's the understatement of the year.
Yeah, I think it's over.
You think it's over?
I think it's over for him as like a figure in entertainment.
Right. But you think it's over as him as far as
jail?
like he gets a cell right next to R. Kelly?
I don't think so. I don't think he gets locked up.
He skates.
I think he skates. Or he goes to like Bali.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a move, huh?
I wanted to clear right here over these digital airwaves of YouTube that the career of Sean P. Diddy Combs, as we know it, it's over. This is over. It's over in the worst possible way, one of the worst possible ways you can.
Before the trial began, Diddy was ranked as the second wealthiest figure in hip-hop, boasting a net worth of over $1 billion. He oversaw more than a dozen active brands and regularly rubbed shoulders with fellow billionaires like Jay-Z and Mark Cuban. His influence stretched beyond music and business. Just weeks before his legal troubles escalated, New York City Mayor Eric Adams awarded him the key to the city.
2020, y'all. Yeah. And it's different than when it was 2016. You know, the game has been elevated. As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had
He already has the keys to some pretty exclusive places, and now Sean Diddy Combs can add New York City to that list. It's Diddy Day in the city. Videos have been playing on the Jumbotron for TSX Broadway, and the crowd waited. Then around 11:30, the doors opened for the mayor and the artists.
Bad boy of entertainment is getting the key to the city from the bad boy of politics.
I want to thank y'all for this honor and just recognizing me being from New York, giving me the key to the city. Diddy finally has the key to the city.
Today's event coincides with the release of his new album, The Love Album.
Empire is unraveling fast. His companies are hemorrhaging money, and once loyal brand partners have cut ties in an effort to distance themselves. Following his arrest, he was even forced to return the key to New York City, a symbol of his former stature. Now, the very people who once called him their closest friend are backing away, eager to protect their own reputations.
Sean Diddy Combs returned his honorary key to the city at the request of Mayor Eric Adams. The Harlem native was awarded the key last September, but returned it on June 10th.
All right, so let's get right into it. Check this out. This guy Diddy, when you look at his net worth, 2022, he's a billionaire. Oh, we hear it, we see it all over the place. Today, net worth roughly $300 million, $400 million. His net worth, if you look at it, was a lot of spirits. 70% was spirits, $700 million. 50 million was private investments. Then you see 75 million cash, 100 million real estate and collectibles, 75 million catalog and intellectual property. Go to it right now. Only $150 million is spirits. He lost $550 million there. Cash is lower and a bunch of other things are lower there. So what happened during that time when he...
The truth is, Diddy may never have had any genuine friends. Just weeks after his arrest, Mayor Eric Adams, who once honored him with the key to the city, was arrested on corruption charges himself. And when it comes to personal relationships, most of Diddy's connections were rooted in business. Even Jay-Z, once considered a close friend, remained silent throughout the entire trial.
Other than him just being a freak. I don't know how you get in that position and do all of this wild. It just leads me to believe you don't have no real friends around you. Well, because if you're worth $1 billion and you're the guy that has all of these different people employed, like literally you're the reason all of this stuff is happening. All of these people have jobs. You mean to tell me not one person says, bro, you got to stop around with all these drugs. Bro, you got to stop around with all this alcohol. Bro, you need to stop around with all these girls. Bro, stop it with the prostitutes. Why do you have guns in the house with the serial number scratched off? Like nobody, one person comes around and says, what the f-?
Big breaking news tonight. For the first time in the history of New York City, a sitting mayor has been indicted for crimes. ABC News reporting that Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted by a federal grand jury. We do not know yet the exact charges. Federal authorities have been investigating Adams and members of his staff, issuing subpoenas for documents and cell phones. Several members of administration have resigned, some of them also friends of Mayor Adams. Again, Eric Adams, the 110th mayor of New York, has been indicted by a federal grand jury. We'll have the latest online and tonight on Eyewitness News at 11.
Believed his day of reckoning would never come. That his powerful connections would shield him from the fallout of his actions. Back in PA, he inked a lucrative deal with liquor giant Diageo to promote CROC vodka, partnership that earned him over $400 million and ultimately catapulted him into billionaire status. But allegedly, Diddy attempted to push Diageo out and seize control of CROC for himself. That's when Diageo abruptly cut ties. Just months later, Diddy found himself facing lawsuits. Was it all just coincidence or the beginning of his empire's collapse?
It kind of fit my brand. My brand, I was known as the king of celebration, the king of parties. And I wanted something that was luxurious and aspirational, and I saw an opportunity in the ultra premium sector of vodka. I was naturally a vodka drinker, and I knew about Ciroc, and I knew that it at the time it wasn't, people weren't really connecting with it, with the messaging, and so I proposed to Diageo. Maybe we enter a partnership. Let's see how it goes. I told them these, astronomical numbers that I felt I could hit, and
you hit them.
I hit them. We take a lot of pride in the way that we have marketed and the success we've had, but we also take a lot of pride in the responsibility, awareness aspect that we brought to the industry.
Compare him to some other people net worth-wise with Jay-Z, Dre, Diddy, and Kanye. This is what it looks like. Blue is Dre, orange is Jay-Z, green is Diddy, and purple is Kanye. Look what happened here. So Jay-Z keeps climbing. In 2011, he was roughly $450. Today he's $2.5 billion. Dre goes from where he was at $150 million at the time. He's worth roughly $980 million today. Diddy goes from $450, same place, to $1 billion, down to $300 million. And then Kanye goes from wherever he was. You look at the report today, you'll either see $300 million or $2.77 billion, depending on who's doing the audits. Forbes says $300 million. Okay, so let's go look at the Ciroc deal, what happened. So Diddy in 2007 does the Ciroc deal, which is a partnership with Diageo to revive Ciroc vodka, taking a 50-50 profit-sharing role rather than the standard endorsement. As brand manager and CMO, he elevated the brand from 40,000 to over 2 million cases a year, making it a premium product. Now, keep in mind, if you don't know who Diageo is, Diageo owns everybody. Johnny Walker, Crown Royal, Smirnoff, Kettle One, Don Julio, Casamigos, Captain Morgan, Bailey Irish Cream, Guinness. They own all these companies. So Ciroc, hey, this is big. We're bringing Diddy in. He's going to take it from 40,000 to 2 million. Profitable. This is great. Let's make some money together. 2013, De Leon Tequila co-ownership. Diddy and Diageo jointly acquired De Leon Tequila, making it a deeper investment relationship. May of 2023, Diddy sues Diageo. Diddy filed a lawsuit accusing Diageo of neglecting the De Leon brand, racial discrimination, claiming they marketed it as an urban product and failed to treat him as a true business.
Diddy's downfall is accelerating. He's lost major brand deals, sold off his private jet, listed his mansion for sale, and even surrendered his passport. His career in hip-hop appears to be over. Sources close to the case say his legal fees alone are rapidly draining his finances, and with the FBI seizing his assets, Diddy no longer has full access to his own bank accounts. Authorities claim he used his private jet and mansion in the commission of serious crimes, including the trafficking of minors. Those planes, reportedly worth tens of millions, are now in FBI custody.
Business Network's Taylor Riggs says Diddy's financial bleeding shows no sign of stopping.
All I know is that good attorneys charge a lot per hour. We know that they have a big case ahead of them. They also have a lot of those civil trials.
I had a big year this year. His $60 million private jet has already been sold. The snazzy plane, sports cars, mansions from LA to Miami and the Hamptons, $1 million in jewelry and over $20 million in top-of-the-line art, including works by Andy Warhol. That's just a short list of Diddy's physical wealth. But now, with his legal nightmare getting even more frightening, Diddy put his Beverly Hills mansion, that was raided in March, on the market for $61 million.
If people don't want to touch anything with your name on it, you have to look at other tangible assets that you can sell.
The 54-year-old's long legal fight ahead includes over 24 current cases alleging sexual racketeering, sex trafficking. Diddy has vehemently denied all the charges and accusations against him.
And a Justice Department forfeiture action that could cost him his empire. An empire that prosecutors allege was built, at least in part, through a pattern of criminal activity, including alleged trafficking, drug distribution, and violence, all used to advance what they call a racketeering enterprise. In the unsealed indictment, prosecutors outline how his business and personal assets allegedly played a role in carrying out or concealing the crime. This means any assets connected to the behavior, even indirectly, could be seized, including real estate, companies, vehicles, and aircraft. Now, his $60 million private jet has reportedly already been sold. The Beverly Hills estate is currently on the market for $61 million. And while Combs still owns his $48 million Miami mansion, a judge denied his request to use it as collateral.
No one knows exactly how much of Diddy's fortune the FBI will ultimately seize, but one thing is clear. He won't have much left when it's over. He's already lost over $600 million, and sentencing hasn't even happened yet. By the time Diddy walks free, there may be nothing left to return to. No brands want to be associated with him, and his celebrity circle has all but vanished. The empire he spent decades building is crumbling before everyone's eyes.
To protect what's left of his assets, Combs hired Stefan Casella, former deputy chief of the Justice Department's asset forfeiture and money laundering section, to fight the forfeiture action. If the jury finds Combs guilty, it will be up to them to determine how much of Combs' assets are subject to forfeiture. Anything forfeited after a conviction could be used to support alleged victims. Sean Combs denies all allegations. And to help us break down what's at stake, I'm joined by Jim Trusty. He's the former chief of the Department of Justice, Organized Crime and Gang Section. Jim, thank you so much for coming on today.
Sure. Good to be here.
So, Jim, let's start with the forfeiture. This isn't just about prison time anymore. Prosecutors want his empire. From what you've seen in the filings, how aggressive is this?
Well, it looks to be very aggressive, and there's a couple of reasons I say that. The first is it's very broadly worded. What they're talking about is essentially any property, real or personal, that could constitute either facilitating property or instrumentalities, they call it, or proceeds. And so that's kind of the whole business empire of P. Diddy being at risk. And that's the second part, which is it's a RICO case, a criminal enterprise case, where they've defined the organization, the criminal enterprise, as not just Sean Combs, but as all these business interests that he has, including liquor labels, music labels, everything else you can think of. So they've set it up in a way where when they get to a forfeiture phase, if there's a conviction, the sky's the limit, and it looks like they're going to try to take a piece out of him everywhere.
Here's what people don't realize. Diddy's not just burning money on defense. His income sources are collapsing one by one, if not already collapsed. Ciroc's parent company, Diageo, dropped him quietly. No fanfare, no public fight, just a quiet, chilling severance. Revolt TV is bleeding viewers and advertisers amid backlash over Diddy's involvement. Staff are quitting. Execs are jumping ship. He already sold his stake in it, but now that's died. Sean John is a ghost brand, barely sold in department stores, relying on licensing deals that are now being reevaluated. That $400 million fortune is shrinking fast.
He's the judge, so he can help either with the sentencing or the fact the judge may release him. Now, based on all that and the programming and stuff like that, even if he does the program and stuff like that, the prosecution is still going to say, yo, listen to me. Okay, he did the program, he did that, but this is how much time and more time than somebody else who had the same kind of crime, this is how much time they did. Because if you notice, the judge asked the defense for a record court cases of people getting time for this. So you know what the defense is going to do? They're going to come up the least amount of time that people got for this Mann Act charge. So now you got the prosecution. They're going to put in the most time that somebody got who did this thing. for this, who did this crime. So now the judge gonna look at the programming, look at the pre-sentence report, and decide what kind of time he gonna give him. But all that programming that he doing, all criminals, anybody who go to jail, if it's for drug dealers, they go to jail. Some of them don't even use drugs, but they take a drug class, they take the drug courses so it can look good on their record when they go in front of the probation and they go back in front of the judge. If they did a domestic violence, they take the domestic violence course. They take the domestic violence course so that when they go back in the judge, he say, okay, they took a domestic violence course. And 9 times out of 10, any course that they take, they're gonna refer them out for treatment once they get out of jail. So all those courses and all those cases and all those courses that he's taking is to get him out of jail and nothing more. I don't give a flying F about it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just a facade. It's some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? He had enough money way before he got to jail. If he wanted to do something to get himself right, to get off drugs, he could have got the best doctors. You understand? He could have gotten the best treatment facility. If he wanted to stop beating women, he could have got some psychological help. He could have bought the best that money could buy. So all this shit is just to get his sorry ass out to jail. And 9 times out of 10,
Deal, happy to have you back on the platform, man. October 3rd, man, we're gonna find out if Diddy do time or not. But I do want to ask you, how you feel about this program that he enrolled into?
Well, the programs that they put him in is because of he's getting close to release, or he may be released. So the Bureau of Prisons for the federal government has to give him a program based on his crime that he committed. You know what I'm saying? He did commit a crime. He is going to jail for committing a crime, but the time is going to be based on his pre-sentence report. So now, in the pre-sentence report that the probation officer, the federal probation officer do, they go by the history. If he had any criminal history, they go by the criminal history. They go by the history, the crime. They go by what the victim statements and all that, and they do this report that they submit to the judge. And submitting that report to the judge is going to have what they believe based on the guidelines of the prison system, the guidelines of the correctional sets up based on what the time he'll do based on the crime. Now, the crime, and let's get this straight, the crime that he committed is based on the Mann Act. And that ranged anywhere from probably 22 to 54 months. Probably 22 to 54 months. And they're not going to probably run that
Now to the Sean Diddy Combs case. We may learn this week if he will be released on bond while he awaits sentencing. His lawyers filed a request asking the judge to release Combs on $50 million bond. Combs was convicted earlier this month on charges of transportation to engage in prostitution, and he was acquitted of more serious charges of sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy. The government is expected to respond by this Thursday. Combs' sentencing is scheduled for October.
These are all the things you did even after you knew that we were going to be sitting right here together. You want to stay where you at until we figure out the sentence.
All right. Well, when you ask what Diddy should do if he comes home, he should do the work on himself. That's what he should be doing. He should be going to do some deep, intense therapy. He needs to find God. That's what he needs to be doing. He shouldn't be worried about no career. He shouldn't be worried about trying to get back professionally. He should be focusing on his personal life.
According to insiders, Diddy's legal bills are mounting quickly. Former federal prosecutor Nima Romani, founder of West Coast Trial Lawyers, stated, "I expect Diddy to spend 8 figures more than $10 million on defense fees when it's all said and done." In high-stakes federal cases, top-tier criminal defense attorneys often require retainers of $1 million or more. Diddy has assembled a small army of lawyers to fight his case, which comes as no surprise, considering his reported $1 billion net worth and the fact that his future is hanging in the balance.